All right, up next we have Jem. Jem is a developer, transhumanist, advocate for diversity and inclusion, and all-around swell guy. That didn't happen.
Okay. I'm really glad that the you can fuck up thing was right before this, so go. My name is Jem. My topic for tonight is on transhumanism, and the reason I wanted to do this was when we talked about doing a theme of human, not human, transhumanism just was the first thing that came to mind. How many people here know what transhumanism is? Maybe 5? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Transhumanism is a cultural movement affirming the possibility and desirability of fundamentally improving the human condition through applied reason, especially by developing and making widely available technologies to eliminate aging, greatly enhance intellectual, physical, and psychological capacities. This is why I have notes. In addition to that, though, transhumanism is also the study of the philosophy, the ramifications, the promises, and the potential dangers of technologies that will enable us to overcome fundamental human limitations. It's the related study of the ethical matters involved in developing and using such technologies. So all of that is a mouthful, and to summarize it, it really all comes down to the idea of we can make ourselves better, stronger, faster, but how do we do it ethically, humanely, and safely? And really, it's not a stretch to think about how we're already doing some of this. Consider augmented Paralympic athletes who are already able to run much faster than some regular athletes. There was an issue a few years ago where one of them wanted to enter in a standard track event against non-augmented. I use augmented liberally here. Or consider wearing glasses or our smartphones also. We have devices that allow us to go beyond just improving and overcoming some of our inabilities. And tools like virtual reality are now making it possible for us to access and interact with new informational resources and experience things more immersively than ever before. And then beyond that, beyond just our personal experience, it also has a lot to do with how we interact with the environment and our ability to harness green energy and our batteries becoming better. So all around, fundamentally, transhumanism is the proactive approach to human evolution. It shares many elements of humanism, including a respect for reason and science, commitment to progress, and a valuing of the human or transhuman existence. But it also differs from humanism in recognizing and anticipating the radical alterations in the nature and possibility of our lives. So the theme right here. There's a lot more to transhumanism. Transhumanism philosophy also expands into several subschools of thought, including the idea of immortalism, the belief that technological immortalism is possible and desirable. Postgenderism, an argument for the erosion of binary gender, liberation from limitations of traditional gender roles, and techno-Gaiaism, an ecological ideology that emerging technologies can restore Earth's environment. My personal favorite, too, is the singularitarianism. It's the idea that a technological singularity is possible, and the idea that there would come a moment when an artificial intelligence has access to its own design and can rapidly iterate far faster than any human could possibly conceive of. So as much as all of this sounds really amazing, transhumanist ideals are not without some of their opponents. The critics often fall into one of two camps. There are practical concerns as to whether we'll actually pull any of this off. And then there's also the ethical criticisms, objecting on the moral level, seeing the goals as a threat to human values and worrying that we might lose what it means to be fundamentally human. However, transhumanists would contest that political equality has never rested on human biology alone, that the products of genetic engineering may well ameliorate rather than exacerbate, and we'd be giving to the many what was once the privilege of the few. I briefly lost my place. Actually, this does bring up one interesting point. There was the idea of somebody, if you cloned a body, if you required humans to give full and complete consent to be studied or subjected to science experiments, if you create a clone and that clone suddenly becomes sentient, how do you know how? Like, they just started their life. How have they given consent? So in the end, the crowning achievement is the Enlightenment and the principle of tolerance. And this is my last slide. Thank you.